Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, the other way around, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
So many people have trouble with it.
You have trouble working out the orientation, don't you? Yeah.
Hello, my name's Gary Phillips. Now, be serious now, Gary, for change. Gary Phillips, my life in almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Proud owner and runner of a security company, e.g. electronic security and solar. Yes, I can save you money. Yippee! Let's go with it. Bye.
Welcome to the Chairwood Podcast with me, Simon Burridge.
And me, Rachel Burridge.
Not going to lie, I'm already mentally drained.
I think that was the longest one.
It's the longest intro ever. It's going to be a long hour and a half.
We're going to have some fun.
Oh dear. Hello, Gary. How you doing, mate?
Hello.
Before we start, there's a sign behind you. How long do you think before it falls off the wall? Onto your head, hopefully.
I have seen in previous episodes that I have watched on the interweb that signs gradually fall off at varying intervals and people try and head them.
Knowing you, you've probably done all the
Worked out
times
the
and divided it
averages,
by
yeah.
the amount of episodes you've watched.
Are you saying that I'm analytical?
I thought it was going to go there. Yeah. You're more than just
Hello,
analytical,
Simon.
I know that. You're more than just that.
Yes.
How long? Are you giving us a time or what?
Huh?
Have you given us a time?
Let's give it 7 minutes.
So you gave it all that spiel about, and then you went, give it 7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes?
30 seconds.
7 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Right, okay. 7 minutes, 30 seconds.
I take it it's been stuck up there by a little bit of glue.
No tape.
Sorry. I've got to be serious for a second.
No,
here.
you don't have to be. You do what you want, mate.
You've got to ask him questions.
Right, we're going to go to sponsor.
Who's interviewing who?
We're just going to go to the sponsor and we'll be back.
Today's sponsors are Dimodici Associates, Chartered Structural and Civil Engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on dimodiciassociates.com.
New Digital, helping businesses build their online presence with web design, SEO, Google Ads and social media. Get 10% off when you quote Cherrywood today. Visit their website at nudigitalera.co.uk.
Right,
After these commercial messages, watch carefully now. Hello.
We're back. Oh, God. I'm already drained. Right, tell us about yourself, Gary.
My name is Gary Phillips. No, seriously. Gary Phillips, proud father of two strapping lads, Daniel and Nicholas, and 59 years young, mental age of 14.
I'll go lower than that.
Mental age of 10 then, yes.
Yeah.
No. I've been in sales. I'm actually very shy, believe it or not.
Right.
Very, very shy, painfully shy, yes. Work in the security industry, electronic security, and I think it was about 5-6 years ago now, a very close friend of mine called Mark Thompson, bless him, he approached me for some help because his fledgling solar business was flagging somewhat, and he wanted to have an injection of life into it. He made the mistake of bringing me on board.
And what an injection that is.
Oh, boy.
That's like Botox for the soul.
Listen. Last year, for argument's sake, it's just because it's the most recent year, we installed 34 installations, ranging from the usual house to farm barns and commercial flat roofs. We're currently looking at doing 4 fruit farms in Kent at the moment, as well as other buildings. We're starting what's the where grapes grow?
Oh, like a
Vineyard.
vineyard.
We're starting a vineyard in Kent.
Nice.
28 panels.
So what you mean is
on
a
the
vineyard
fourth.
of solar panels?
Very good. No, the solar panels are going to be a ground mount,
Yeah.
south facing to the left of the vineyard. It's going to take three days to install. It's going to save the client around about 78% of their electricity bill,
Right. Okay.
which is phenomenal.
I don't know why car parks don't have them. You know, you park underneath them.
Car parks do have them, but they're primarily in Europe at the moment.
Yeah,
because
because
they haven't been approved. European laws for solar are different from UK laws.
Oh, right. Okay.
You may have heard one of our colleagues mentions MCS all the time, being MCS qualified. MCS is the equivalent of, in business, of ISO 9001.
Right. Yep.
If you're MCS, that means every single nut, bolt, bit of paper, complement slip, every single part of the installation has to be audited, where it came from, the warranties, who's installing it, qualifications, etc., etc. And we have everything.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Now, are solar panels? Well, you're going to say yes.
Wait.
Go on.
We
What?
haven't actually said the name of the company. have
He has BA Security,
No.
but he doesn't do the. They don't do the solar panels.
No.
The solar panels is Eco Energy Install.
Eco Energy Install.
Yep,
Right?
they're based in Canterbury, and they are fantastic.
So is it like a collaboration that you have with him? So
I
you
knew
have
this was
yours
gonna be
and
a
then
bad
it's
idea.
for-
I started off basically helping Mark, and then it grew too much for me to handle myself. I met some excellent installers on one of the jobs I was working on, and I began to speak to one of the guys working there. We struck up a very, very good rapport. I watched him work, and I thought, I'm not going to have anybody working on my jobs that's not tip top,
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
tip top. Particularly as I give my word to my clients that they will have a absolutely phenomenal system working for them. Never had a complaint, never had a cancellation. Everyone loves it. The fact that our systems save them an absolute fortune on their energy bills. Simple as that.
Okay, so you got a family. Say you got a family of 4, and they got this house, and they're considering having their solar panels. Is there still is it still beneficial for them? And what's the payback? How quick's the payback?
Payback basically is between, say, 5 and 7 years. You should always have a battery system with your panels. It is true to say the more panels you have, the more money you'll save.
Right. So, sorry, I'm going to jump in.
Go on.
You say you should always have a battery system. Do things like council properties not have battery systems and just go straight to the grid?
Right. Many years ago, there was a system that the government offered to the general public to have 6 to 8 panels, depending on the size of the house. The big mistake people made was to be suckered in and to have the panels installed. What they didn't realise is that because most of the companies installing were not MCS, they couldn't get the feedback tariff. They couldn't get any money back on the panels that being installed. Since February, the batteries are now 0 VAT. So we can now install batteries on properties that have already got panels on them and still be MCS.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that we found is that if I approach a house that's already got panels on it that had them installed during this government grant thing,
Yeah.
the paper normally isn't in order because so many cowboys out there.
Yeah. I bet they throw them up.
Oh, it's beyond words, the mess ups and so forth. We do all we can to basically sort the systems out. We service the system. A service should cost you no more than about £300. If anyone is being suckered in out
Is that a
there,
yearly service?
yes,
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be yearly because it is. There's no moving parts. It's basically checking all the cables and so forth. If anybody out there is looking to have their solar panels cleaned, do not be suckered in by believing or being told you need a special solution. It's window cleaner and a mop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's easy. My guys go up. They're like squirrels up a ladder. They don't even hold on. I'm scared of heights. I'm sweating bricks as I'm going up a ladder. Everyone films me to take the mickey. Fine, carry on. But yes, so we've got the solar business and the security business.
Right, okay. Brilliant.
So how did you sort of, going way, way, way back, how did you get into this? Because was this something that you were at school?
Don't
and you
ask
just-
him.
Oh, boy.
Don't ask him this.
Sorry.
Right? This is now turned into a 3-hour podcast.
Right, okay. Many moons ago, in my formative life, about 10, 12 years ago now, I was in printing and publishing.
All right.
And imagine me as a slicked back, dark-haired, amazing person. Sorry.
I'll try.
Couldn't help it. So I'm the first person to be self-deprecating. I think it's great fun.
I told you this was going to be an experience for you, didn't I?
It's great fun. I have a laugh. Listen, laugh at yourself. Why not? Long story short, I sold a marketing campaign to a security company.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in wearing suit, shirt, tie. It was back in the day where everyone wore shirt and tie all the time. Slick back curly hair, dark black brogues, nice dark grey suit, shirt, tie, the whole works. Sold them the marketing campaign, new corporate image, identity, new brochure, everything. They loved it. Didn't expect to get a call back 3.5 months later, asked me to come back and talk to them. I thought to myself, what's this about?
Yeah.
Why am I here? And I said, you've got everything. You've got a year's supply. I said,
Yeah.
no.
Was there a problem?
We want to talk to you. Okay. I was most gratified. They basically said, we want you to join us to head our sales and marketing department.
Wow.
Because we like the way you work. We like the fact that you always try and inject some life, some fun into whatever you do. Make people laugh. If you can make people laugh, you've won them over.
Absolutely.
Laugh with people, and they notice you. They like you.
They remember you.
They remember
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
etc. And so I joined the security company. Obviously, many moons ago, I knew nothing about the business. They taught me everything that I don't know, and and more. Yes, that was then. Now is now. And we've progressed on from basic CCTV, fire alarms, access control. About 4 or 5 years ago, one of the directors we were doing a service on a client in central London, and the director said, he said, my blasted gates don't work again. I shan't use the word he actually used because of broadcasting.
You can use any word you want. We don't care.
Okay, well, he used the naughty word, and he looked at me and said, have you got anybody who can sort the gates out? And I said, of course we have. It's access control. So I made a phone call, sent one of our engineers down, and we unjammed his gates. The gate business was born.
Right.
And we unjammed his gates. His business partner had gates. We put in new gates. We put in a new access control system for him with the video intercom, fob controls, keyless entry, the whole works on his new house. His neighbours saw us install it, and it proliferated. Over the past 2 years now, bollards have come into being.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And bollards are cheaper to install than gates.
Do you know what it means by bollards? Come out the ground.
Come out the ground. Yeah,
Yes.
like the security companies that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
You basically click a button thing, yes, click the fob, and the bollard rises out of the ground, yes. It comes up between 500 mil, 670 or 850 mil,
Okay.
depending on how high your vehicle is. You can have a manual one, which you twist, and when it comes up, it takes 78% of the effort out of the lifting because it's got a piston behind it.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Assisted lift, or you can have a wireless bollard, which I mentioned to you several times beforehand, or an electric bollard. Costs vary between just under £1,000, just under £2,000, and about £5,500, depending on the £5,500 is depending on how much cabling is required. But yeah.
Now, is this one of those stories where someone said, "Do you do bollards?" and you went, "Yeah,
Yeah,
we
sure."
do bollards," because Because it was the same with wooden gates, wasn't it? Was it the
I'm a
same-
salesman. What do you expect? I'm not going to say no, am
Was it
I?
the same with wooden gates?
And
I can't remember what it was you did.
Yeah.
Where someone asked the question.
Yes.
Yeah, we do that, and then he went back. We got to make this.
yeah, I went back to the office and I said, when I made the phone call with the office, I said we do access control. He said, yeah. It said, can we unjam gates? And it said, well, it's an electromechanical motor, so we can service it, clean it, and so forth, and check the electrics. I said, it's jammed. And they said, okay. I said, come on, let's go and see it. So we went out and see it, and we figured out what was wrong with it. It was a limiter that had been pushed too far over. A limiter basically
Stops it. Yeah.
it stops it. And the limiter had been pushed way too far over. It jammed into the tarmac because it was something jammed into it. And so we basically unjammed it. We took the gate off. The rail was twisted, so we put a new rail in, a new motor in, and rehung the gates. New limiter. It works perfectly today as it did when we first did it 7 years ago.
No.
Oh, yay! And I'm shy.
But you drifted away from the story of when they ask, "Do you do this? Do you do that?"
So, yeah,
Are you trying to get away from it?
I do admittedly have a habit of saying yes, we can do, because if I say not quite sure, we can't do, that gives somebody else the opportunity to go and get the business and steal the clients. And being in sales, as far as I'm concerned, something else I haven't told you, which is even funnier. Yeah. What do you think my nickname was in my formative years in sales?
I don't know. Del Boy?
No, Superglue.
Superglue. Oh, right. So you can't get rid of you.
The phone was permanently at my ear. And people used to call me Superglue. The receptionist downstairs, this is long before mobile phones, when you had messages on pins.
That's
on
all right.
sticks, rather, yeah.
Rachel does that about 5 times a podcast anyway.
Yeah. So the receptionist would stand by the door, look at me, and go. I'm on the phone talking to a client, and she's got this stick, this pen with messages, and she'd slam it on my desk, and she'd say, "Return some calls," because I'd go one off the other, off the other, off the other, off the other, call after call after call. Because if you're in sales, you've got to make continual calls. You've got to. If you're not, you're wasting time.
So you must have a sales background then. So did you sort of? How did that come about then?
How did you guess that?
I have no idea.
Gosh, intuition. I like this. Female intuition. Fantastic. Yes.
I think he's taking a piss,
I
Rach.
think he is. Shall I just walk off?
No, my dad was in sales. I've been in sales as long as I can remember. It's an even funnier story. I left school at 16 with 5 O levels. Yeah, just about scraped through. I took a job with Campari Leisureware in their admin department. How boring is just filing invoices? Oh my giddy aunt! Yeah. Lunchtime one day, I thought to myself, I'm always told, you sit here and have your lunch, or go into the common room and have your lunch. No, I'm a nosy bugger, and I could see there was a door on the side. So I thought to myself, I wonder what's behind that. Big glass door. So I thought, I'll walk through it. I'm wearing a nice suit, shirt and tie. I walked through it. Big room with glass cabinets everywhere. I thought, this is nice. Very posh. Nice. So I'm walking around. There's nobody else in the place. I'll carry on walking around. My lunchtime. Why not? Someone walks in off the street or off the big doors. And he's looking around. So I said, can I help you, sir? So I struck up a conversation with him. Yes. I was about 19 at the time. Yes. I was so cocky. It was terrible. It was embarrassing. Honestly, embarrassing. And he said, yes, I'm looking for X, Y, Z. And because I've been reading all the invoices as I've been filing them, I knew all the products off by heart. So I just literally, as I'm talking, I said, come with me, sir. I'm looking at the products, trying to find the right one. I didn't have a clue what I was looking at, just guessing as I'm going along. And I said, this is the T-shirt you're after, sir, and the matching shorts and the bag and so forth. It was like the cheap Adidas bags from years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, you can buy these in a pack. I didn't have a clue if you could or not. I just made it up as I went along. Next thing you know, there's a voice behind me say, Gary, what are you doing? Yes. The marketing manager is come out and saying, like, you see me in there. What are you doing? And I was told to get out. I was sacked the next day. I was sacked the next day. And it was then that when I told my family, they just said to me, "You
need to get
into sales because you clearly enjoy it, and like you enjoy it." So yeah, I got into printing publishing. No, I sold furniture for Hammond's bedrooms.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hammond's.
Yeah.
I was there for about 18 months. Hated it because it was just sitting in the office all day doing nothing and looking at brochures and answering the phone and being very, very tedious and boring.
And that's not you,
me.
yeah. Funnily enough, I've only known you for
Jumping
about
up and down on the
half
beds,
hour.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, I'm normally quite serious. Trust me. Yeah, I normally an average day for me at the moment. I make my first. I've got a little office just inside Gravesend, behind another office.
Whereabouts are you?
Harmer Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the clock tower.
Yeah.
And
Imagine that in its day, Harmer Street.
oh my God,
Beautiful, isn't it? It would have been
I've seen
beautiful.
the
With the
history.
apartments
Yeah.
I've seen the history.
Yeah.
It is
They used to have a theatre down the end of it as well. You know where the Cool Boy is?
yes, historic. Wow.
Yeah. If you look at the
yeah.
back of the Cool Boy, there's a large wall there, and that was the theatre. And that's why it's called the Cool Boy, because they're calling in the stars ready to get on stage, sir.
Honestly, another funny story. I did some business with another security company in Wellington Street in Gravesend, and I got talking to the director as I normally do, and we went down to the basement, and I'd heard a rumour there were ghosts somewhere in Gravesend, in pubs and so forth.
Okay.
I thought nothing of it. And we had to clear out the basement, pile of wood and rubble from one side to the other. And we were there quite late. And whilst we were there, Mark was doing the wiring.
Yeah.
Mark's a big guy. He's have you ever heard of a thing called CP in security? Close protection, basically.
Right, okay.
Diplomats have
Yeah,
these
yeah.
big guys next
Yeah,
to
he's
them.
one like that. Yeah,
Burly
yeah.
guys, yes.
Okay.
Wouldn't really fit me, would it? Really? Like, puny little me. Hello.
You'd be sitting there just talking
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're still
Get him away, he's talking too much, please.
yeah, you're still clear him out. Yeah.
People used to say, where would you find Gary normally? And the answer is, look for a room with donkeys with no hind legs.
See, now he's drifted off the story, and I was into this story.
Sorry, I digress somewhat. Let's get back.
Right,
Let's
so you
get
were
back to the
clearing out
subject.
basement, yeah.
So we're in the basement, and it's getting quite late. And Mark comes up to us and says, "Say, come on, guys, enough of messing about. Leave the stuff there." And I'm looking at my colleague, and I said, "Chris, what's he on about?" And he said, "I don't know." I said, "Mark, what's he said, I've already moved that wood from there to there. It's back there." Yeah. And we had installed CCTV there.
Oh,
Yeah.
go on.
Look at him. He's like, oh,
Yes, I love a ghost story.
Oh, this is so weird. We saw the wood being moved from side to side.
By
We
itself.
saw it on camera.
Have you still got the footage?
No, this is years ago.
Oh,
But
so literally on camera being
we saw
picked up
it being moved, dragged along the floor, and the pub opposite. We
what was it called? The pub opposite.
oh, Wellington Street, Gravesend, next to the bridge. There's a pub on the left hand side as you're approaching the bridge. The guy in the pub, he knows all about the stories about ghosts and so forth.
Railway Tavern, Railway Inn.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think there's a ghost there as well. But
Does it sit by itself? This pub.
Yes.
It sits by itself in the
Yes.
centre.
There's a house next to
It's
it.
now a dessert place, I believe.
Is it?
One of those like creams or
Oh,
something.
God.
No, Creams is on the high street. Creams is not
Oh
much-
yes,
much-
you're right. But there's another one like
Of course,
that.
I'm right.
Yeah, there's another one.
Honestly.
There's another dessert place. It's the Railway Tavern, it's near where the old council building used to be.
Okay.
I think that's the one you're on about. I might be wrong.
Oh, in the middle.
'Cause I'm not quite sure where Wellington Street is, to be honest.
As you come into Gravesend, there's a petrol station on the left-hand side next to the first set of lights. It's literally on the corner.
Oh, right. Okay.
Creams is there.
Opposite,
Wellington
yeah.
Street's opposite.
Oh right, so you're on about the Jolly Drayman pub then?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bob.
That's my local. That's
There
what
you are.
I class as
There
my
you are.
local still. I've not lived in Gravesend for years, but that's still called at my
You
local.
hit your head every time
Yeah,
you go
it's
in
a
there.
very low
Yes,
beam.
it is.
Yeah.
It's low. Yes,
Right,
the number
okay.
of times.
So Wellington Street is
That
that
one?
that street there?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So this haunted place is near there.
Yes, it's underneath. It's opposite the pub. If you get
It's shops there. It was like a hardware shop
Yes.
there.
Oh,
I know it.
That's where Tilly got her dance. There used to be like a party
That's
shop
it,
there,
isn't it
and
next
they
door?
used to do
Next door.
dance stuff,
Oh,
and
so
that's
it's
where Tilly
there.
got her dance.
Next
Right,
door.
so it's
wasn't it?
haunted there.
Yeah,
Ah,
okay.
underneath.
Yeah.
There's underground rooms going right along.
Well, Gravesend's riddled with tunnels.
Oh yes.
Did you know that my mum worked at the bingo hall, which is the Regal? It was called Regal. I think there's a gym there now.
Number 99, please come in.
Yeah. Okay. So
where the Tesco.
So New Road Gravesend used to
Yep,
have
yep.
at the very end of it, near where Cash Converters is,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
right, over the road, used to be a
They
bingo
never
hall.
have change, you know.
Sorry,
They never have change.
they don't. They just convert it, but they managed to convert it.
Is it that building that looks
It's
like
arched.
a cinema?
You can still see the entrance of it.
Yeah, I know
They were
that
going to
one.
knock it down years ago, which is why they closed the bingo hall down. But they never did knock it down, and now it's mainly a gym.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But when they shut the place down, the builders came in to start clearing it out, and they found tunnels there, and those tunnels went all the way to the Thames, smugglers' tunnels.
No.
Yeah.
It's actually quite amazing because what I found out about Gravesend since I've been living in the area, the history. Apparently, Pocahontas died
Died
there.
there,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
died
Came
there.
into Gravesend and they went.
Everything that
Nice.
stops at Gravesend ends up dying. Do you remember that
That's
whale that was in the
isn't it?
Thames? Do you remember the whale that was in the Thames?
Yeah.
That died at Gravesend.
Yeah, yeah.
And they cut it up at the canal basin to
Honestly.
test it, do the post-mortem.
God,
And
honestly.
Gravesend, I believe, used to hold the world record for most pubs per square mile. It used to have a pub everywhere, absolutely every corner.
I did you visit Gravesend during the storms in 2018?
No,
Right.
because I remember the '87 storm.
No, when these horrendous storms, I'm pretty sure it was 18 or 19. Somewhere or other on one of my phones, I've got a video.
Oh, I did. Down the bottom of the hill where the Indian is, that was all flooded.
Well,
Yeah.
I used to like
Yes, I remember.
everyone say.
Yeah.
I now remember it. I do. I was there.
I was going to say, if it's 87, there's no way I'm going to remember
No.
that, is it?
She was 13 at the time.
She was born in
I wasn't
'87.
born.
She wasn't even born yet. What are you like? What are you like?
I know. High five.
My man.
Anyway, what was it?
Naughty boy.
You were born in July '87. The storms, I think, was September,
think
October
they were
'87.
October time.
You
Yeah,
were born in 87, so you're 13 now.
Yeah.
In our heads, because everything stopped at 2000 for us, didn't it?
Oh my God, did it ever?
Yeah.
Well, he was
Yes.
depressed when we went to see
Top Gun.
And I sat there and he went, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to this. I haven't seen it since blah, blah, blah." And I went, "I wasn't alive when this came out, the first one." And he went, "What the hell?" And he went, "What?"
Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
That's
Is
what we're on
that
about.
good?
Yeah, that's what
what we're on
That
about.
is
sure,
a
yeah.
good film.
She wasn't born when the first one was out.
Child, honestly.
Anyway, where are we?
Yeah,
so
sorry,
tell us
go
about your
sorry,
floods.
We digress
Oh,
somewhat.
Yes, again,
sorry.
Yes. This is your fault. you know.
Floods.
Flood. Yes. I've got a video of this flood, and I'm walking down to the front, and
Yes, yeah.
where all the swings are and so forth. Normally,
Where were the what?
Swings,
there's
the park.
on-
Oh, I thought you said swingers. Go on.
I think you're fixated. You know, is that something you want to tell us?
Simon's
Not
a
on
sex
there.
addict.
Not on mic. Not on camera.
Simon, this is your opportunity to come out
I'm sorry.
and tell us what you're really like.
Like it said
What
swingers.
is he really like? Does he? Do you exchange keys
But
with
knowing him-
people at parties?
Probably down that, I'm not being funny, but down that area there probably
you-
is loads of swingers. Go on, yeah. So
Shall
yeah.
we switch places and I shall interview? Go on. Yeah, so I videoed this flood, and I'm literally walking along, And I wasn't watching what I was doing, obviously. And then someone said, sir, I think you should be careful. What? I suddenly realised my feet were covered in water because it was coming up pretty quickly.
Only you would notice.
Yes. And I'm listen, if I'm in a zone, I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
I'm walking along the street and if I'm on the phone even now, I'm like,
You could have someone step in front of you, do this, and you're still like...
you wouldn't believe it, but I can be quite animated when I speak.
No one would ever guess.
So yeah, I took a couple of videos of that, and even the recent storms, I think a couple of years ago, I got videos of a weir and a lock, which is completely submerged.
Mm.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, and there's kids swimming in it.
Oh, yeah.
Dangerous.
Well, you used to do that as a kid, didn't
God,
you?
his video collection's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, I've got this make you laugh.
Oh God.
Slip
My
and
mother's 90,
Yeah.
and I have video collections of her. Past 5 years, I'll literally I'll put my phone up on a stand, yeah, and while we're talking, I'll quickly activate the record button on my watch so it's recording, and I'll I'll tap the camera thing, and I'll tap reverse.
Yeah.
So I'm videoing her without her even knowing it because she's 90. And recently, it's about a year ago now, a friend of mine's mother died, a friend of my mother. And she was saying, I wish I had some recordings of my mother.
Yeah, yeah.
And how everyone was saying, what a shame, blah, 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 blah. I said, give me a minute. Flicking through. I said, check your WhatsApp. And she said, what? I said, just do it. Check your WhatsApp. And because her and my mum were very good friends, I managed to get them both at the same time on video.
Oh,
She's now
bless.
got a video of
her
myself and her mother and my mother talking and then giggling and so forth. I thought to myself, thank God I'm a nosy bugger.
Yeah.
And I take loads of videos, loads of pictures and so forth.
Mm.
So yeah.
Oh, bless. That's so
Yeah.
nice.
I filmed my mum with a 360 camera.
Wow.
So she's just sitting there watching the telly chatting, but I put a 360 camera where you would sit next to her. So when you put it on, you're back in the room and she's there talking to you.
That's cool, isn't it? That's cool.
Yeah, I try and do that every now and then.
What's the best kind of gift you ever got your mum?
Oh my God.
Oh.
The best. Do you know? I know the best gift I ever got my mum.
From your point of view or from her point
From
of view?
her point of view.
Yeah.
From her point of view, right? It's a toothbrush.
Okay.
Because I went and got it myself. I think it was
you were
Christmas.
about
And so I went to, no, 40 something. No, I was just a kid and it was the first time I'd actually gone to buy a present. And all I did, I think my sister sent me down somewhere, sent me down to Perry Street with some money. And I went in this shop and I bought my dad birthday candles and I bought my mum a toothbrush. And they both said that's the best present they've ever had because I bought it and thought of it myself. Yeah.
Aw.
My mother was 90 last year, and I could not work out what to get her. I thought
So
she's got to be significant because it's a milestone.
Yeah.
She's 90, not 14 anymore. She's now 90. Acts like she's 14. So I'm literally driving myself mad, thinking, and suddenly it came to me. Week beforehand, I had found out. I rang around all their friends, said, right, fine, I'm organising a lunch for her and so forth. And everyone said, don't do that, for God's sake, your mother doesn't like surprises, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, yes, it's true, she doesn't like surprises. So I thought, okay, I've got a really thinking cap on. So I told my mum that I'd ordered her present from Amazon.
Right.
Yeah. And her birthday was on the Wednesday. On the Sunday, I rang her and I said, Mum, I'm really sorry. Your present's arrived. It's broken. I've got to send it back. So it's going to be a bit late. In the background, I'd heard her talking about the lunch that she'd organised for her friends, just the women, not the men, just the women, at a restaurant in Hatch End in North London. I thought to myself, I wonder. I found out which restaurant it was. Much research it took, many questions, many phone calls. I phoned the restaurant. spoke to the manager, and I said to him, when my mother arrives, gave him a name and everything else, I said, let him sit down, let him eat. When it comes to the bill, you call me and I'll cover the bill.
Oh.
Yeah. And on the day in question, I'm sitting at my desk, and it was booked for 1 o'clock. I thought, okay, 2 o'clock, 2:15, ish, 2:30, phone will ring. My phone did not stop that day.
Oh.
I'm thinking to myself, get off the phone. Yeah. And then I thought myself, it's 2:45, 2:50, 3:05. I thought
Someone's
myself,
paid
he's forgotten.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
forgotten. I thought, I've got to ring up. I rang up. He said, gosh, Gary, perfect timing. Said, your mother's just after the bill. I thought to myself, God, talk about lucky isn't the
Yeah.
word for it. I covered the bill, 18 of them. Yes, that hurt. That hurt. Oh, my God. Yes, the moths that threw out of my wallet that day were unreal.
Especially from a salesman, yeah. It only comes in, it doesn't go out.
Oh,
Cheap shot.
excuse me. Excuse me. If I had any feelings left, they'd be hurt.
You're a salesman, of course you haven't got any.
Well, listen, yeah, so I've been told. But Anne, who's my close friend Phil's mum, they've all been friends for over 50, 60 years. I'm friends with Jeremy, Gary, Phil, and so forth. All our mums are good friends. Dad was a good friend, and so forth. I heard afterwards that my mum's face was a picture when she was given a silver plate and so forth, saying "Happy birthday from your son." He's covered the bill. She rang me and said, "I thought you were up to something."
Bless her.
So not thank you.
Honestly, yeah, of course she thanked me, but I thought myself, great, gotcha.
But she's doing all right, she's healthy and everything.
She does. She teaches keep fit twice a week.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my
Teaches.
God.
I mean,
Wait, is she round this way? Is she grows
she's North London, Edgware.
Right, okay.
But she attends water aerobics twice a week.
Right.
Teachers keep fit in her flats as well. She has a fixation about posture. Her back is ramrod straight.
Really?
Wow.
She stands up. She's the only one of her friends that
Makes me wanna
use a walker. Yeah? She goes shopping for 3 people in the flats where she lives.
Wow.
I bet they're all younger than her.
Yes, for at least 10 years. She comes back with these laden with Sainsbury's bags.
Wow.
Honestly, what an amazing woman.
Yeah.
She is my rudder.
Oh,
There's no other word. She is my rudder.
bless.
Honestly, what an amazing woman. My mother, wonderful. Sorry. Slight madness there.
So going back to your sales background and everything, how do you deal with like rejection? Because you must get that a lot in the sales industry.
The Samaritans get a lot of phone calls. I have a subscription with the Samaritans every night to cope with my depression.
So I'm assuming that's a I couldn't give a shit kind of response.
Pretty much.
I think, is it almost like you build up your onion layers, as I call it? Like the first
you have
time you
to
get
have
here.
a rhinoceros skin.
Yeah.
You've got to bear in mind that out of the industry average is you only win between, say, 15 and 25% of the quotes you get.
I was going to ask that, yeah.
I mean, I've done through BNI, my God, we've got 28 pending projects at the moment. I received 2 referrals this morning. I've subbed this morning, got another referral while I was there. I've given out 2 referrals since Thursday. You've got to love what you do and really enjoy what you do and have fun with what you do. And I don't take it seriously. I take clients very, very seriously, very, very seriously. Everything has to be absolutely perfect. I mean, every installation is absolutely perfect. I will not stand tardiness. I will not stand discourteousness. I will not stand swearing on site by any of our staff. Every single thing. I do spot checks on sites. If I'm in London, I get on the train and go to different sites. I walk in. I have a high vis and a hat in my boot with my bag and so forth. I just walk in, put my high vis on, put my hat on. I look great in a high vis. Not. You've seen my picture, haven't you? I'll put it on the chat. Yes. Yeah. It's me in a shirt and tie and so forth and a hat, which doesn't fit properly. Ridiculous. Honestly, I look like a you-know-what. I shan't say the word, but I look like that. Ridiculous.
So do you remember the first time that someone, like you were in your sales pitch and someone said to you, no, thank you, and sort of just walked away?
I panicked.
Yeah.
I absolutely crapped myself because I thought myself, oh my God, what do I say? What do I do? I lost a sale. I did, lost a sale. You learn by experience in sales. The one thing I've learnt many, many years ago, I was mega high pressure. I was literally, I'd sit down with people and I'd go on and on and on and on and on until they get sick and tired of me and they buy something just to get rid of me. No,
what can we buy, Si?
Yeah, honestly, it was crazy. I was at high pressure. Now I'm the complete opposite. I get praise and criticism in equal measure by clients saying to me, "You don't need to keep ringing me. I know who you are. I know where you are. We'll call you when we're ready." And they do, and we get repeat business. Then I get clients saying to me, "Thank God you called me. Thank God you reminded me. I'd forgotten about that. That needs doing. Can you please do it?" Yeah. On the way here, 2 people saying to me, "Forgotten to do that. Could you please organise it for me?" Yeah, no problem until it's done. I did it literally in the car on the way here. But you have to, you've got to step back. As you get older and as you mature, you realise people do not like to be sold to.
No, that's right.
You have to.
The thing is, the world is easy accessible now. Everything's easily accessible. So back in the day, they would only have to rely on you because they wouldn't know how to get certain things. Do you know what I mean? It was harder to source certain, but now anyone can get anything.
Delivery, can't you?
So you know, you need to. The way of selling is a lot different. It's literally a mind bender, not a mind bender. What is it? A mind jogger. You're jogging their memory, basically. Oh, I must get that.
To be honest with you, as a client said to me the other day, he rang me up and said, "Right, fine, let's get on with it. Let's do it. Cool, nice one." He said, and Gary, well done for being restrained and not driving me mad about it. And I thought to myself, it's working good. I provide people with as much information as they need. I'm always available day and night, 24/7 on the weekends to answer questions. And I let people buy from me as opposed to sell to them. And it goes down so much better. I go into meetings and sometimes I don't say a word. I know you find that hard to believe.
I know. I'm shocked about that.
I'm not having that.
Yeah, I literally don't say a word.
Should we give him a task next BNI meeting to do that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's my interview.
Sorry.
Hi, guys.
Who am I? Right. Do you have any advice for people that want to go into sales?
You've got to love what you do.
Love what you sell, or just love selling?
You've got to love what you do. If you're in sales, you can pretty much sell anything. You've got to know your product back to front and inside out. You've got to be confident in what you're doing, in what you're talking about. You've got to be friendly, affable, amenable, and basically befriend people. Because
can you tell within the first sort of few seconds, if they're going to
someone's going to buy or not? Yeah, you get buying signals.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that until way on.
Yeah.
You know, when I worked in the first security company, the governor brought his son in and said, "Can you teach me how to sell?" I said, "No." He said,
"Why?
Why not?" I said, "He said you work for me. You do." I said, "I do work for you, but I've seen your son. Your son's he's a shrinking violet. He sits in the corner reading a book."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, "You can't do that."
Yeah.
I said, "How often have you walked into my office here and you've had to wait by the door for 5-10 minutes when I'm on the phone? You think I'm going to stop talking to a client because you're by the door? Forget it. If I can get a deal here, you can wait." Yeah.
And that's the thing, that because like when we do wedding fairs as well, I find that you have to really. They walk past. There's so many people at a wedding fair, and they do walk past you, and you have to get them within that split second. Otherwise, they're gone. And if you can get them within that split second and then draw them in with something, which we do with our little codes that we have in our albums and our photos, then they're hooked. Then you can start doing your sales pitch. But you have to have that few seconds first of, I'm going to test the water. If you don't like it, you can go. But if you
Yeah.
do, I'm going to draw you in a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's that you can't teach, can you? Because you have to know yes or no, basically.
It's just the way they look at your stall. You
Yeah.
know, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell just by not even communicating with them if they've already got a photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
You can just tell by the way they glance, you
Mm.
know, and you know, oh, right, okay, I'll have a chat with them. Our brother-in-law Dave, my
Oh, he was
brother-in-law Dave,
lovely.
he was brilliant. He's a he's a salesman, but he's been in the hotel industry for years. And we used to have him help out because I used to have to film these things. So while I was filming, Dave would be on our stall, and he's so funny. And every time he said, "What venue are you getting married?" And they say, "We're getting married at the castle or whatever."
Yeah.
Oh, right, we've done there, and we have mainly. But then this couple came up and said, "Where is it you're getting married?" "Oh, we're getting married in my dad's back garden." And he went, "Oh, we've done there."
He was so used to saying it, and then he went, "Oh, actually, no."
we haven't been there. Yes.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
very approachable. We've got better over the years. When I first started it was hard, nerve wracking. I speak to everyone, you know me, but to sell them something
I think it's
is.
that fear of rejection.
Do I know
isn't
you?
It?
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Tell me your life story now,
He's going to
Simon,
counsel
please.
you now.
Yes. So, how did you first start in photography, Simon?
Goodness, you don't want to have my interview, do you? We have to get.
Do I speak closer to the microphone like this?
No, you're fine. I'm having to adjust the volume because you're like this, and then you're like this, then you shout, and then you're not. But
I
it's
think
all right.
it's that fear of rejection that actually starts you off. When you have that, God, I've got to go. You know, even at wedding fairs now, I have to really sort of psych myself up when they say, right, okay, the doors are open, people are going to come in. I have to sort of like stand there for about 5-6 minutes and just go, right, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? What am I gonna... And you have to sort of almost psych it up.
This is
almost,
interesting.
just,
This is interesting.
oh,
No.
I thought you were going to analyse me.
No,
there.
no. Many years ago, my dad, we were at this function, and we had to ask everyone to move from one side of the room to the other because it was some sort of the reasons and so forth. And Dad said, "Could you ask them to move?" And I said, "Excuse me, can you?" He says, "Hey, Gary, use your voice. You've got a bellowy voice. Use it." So now, you've heard me. If I go into this is my normal voice, yes. But if I'm doing a talk, because sometimes I go into a meeting and there's a lot more people than I expect at the meeting. I go and I'm told I'm meeting 2 board directors. It's a board meeting, 20 people in there. I go, "Hi, my name's Gary, and right, fine. I've got nothing prepared at all, so we're going to do an hour of Q&A. Please take it under your ties, jackets off. It's a hot day. I've ordered some food, some cold drinks and so forth. Q&A, anything to do with printing, publishing and so forth, which is my business at the moment. Please throw it at me." And it's baptism by fire.
Yeah.
You have to throw yourself into it and own the room.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you walk, and the last thing you can do is say, "Hello, I'm Gary, and I'm happy to answer questions." And please don't look at me. No,
It's
don't
the
look at
fact
me.
that they'll remember that, right? If you come in
Yeah.
there and you are confident and you basically, like you said, own the room, they'll remember that instead of someone sitting in the corner going,
Yeah.
"Yes, I'm fine."
And I think the worst thing you can do is write it down and read it as well, especially on our minute things we do.
Oh my God!
Do you make yours
So
up
just so
every day
everyone knows, Gary and I are in the same sort of networking group,
Yes.
and we have a minute to read about talk about our business, and I don't even think about it.
I wing mine every single week.
You read it.
And I wing it.
You wing.
I'll
I
wing
wing
it,
it
yeah.
too.
I wing it.
I wing it too. I had 2 minutes.
I just wing it.
I had 2 minutes yesterday, and I just winged it. I put a couple of bullet points, things I wanted, recommended referrals and stuff, but I winged it basically.
This morning I subbed a new chapter in Kings Hill. I subbed for a brickie, and I read his pitch. I thought to myself, I'm already falling asleep reading it. Yeah.
So you glanced at it and made it up yourself.
I completely made it up. Yeah. I stood up and I said, "Guess what I want to do when I grow up?" And look at me, kid. "I want to be a brick. I want to be a house. I want to be a wall."
So, Simon, if you ever need someone to fill in for you,
Oh my God.
And everyone's looking at me. I said, "And what does Rick do? He's a brickie." And everyone burst out laughing. And after the meeting, 2 people approached me and said, "I'm going away next month. Can you sub for me, please?" I thought, it's worked.
Let's hope one of them don't do penis extensions.
I'm a penis.
I want to be a penis.
It's growing. My blood pressure's growing. Oh my God, no!
Right.
So,
And there's another side to you, quite a serious side, where you teach people that have got learning difficulties, reading
Yes.
difficulties. Do you still do this?
No,
Right.
This was years ago. Because I love reading and I love the English language, I love vocabulary. I hate swearing, but there's always words you can use. Words are stronger than any kind of violence. And I noticed, this is many years ago, that some people around me couldn't read because I was a member of a club, and there were some travellers there, and there were some people there who were autistic and so forth, and they had dyslexia, and they were trying to read a book, and I just noticed they couldn't read. And then someone who taught adult literacy said to me, "We noticed you do a lot of reading. Can you give us a hand?" So I began to help people, and I did it for about 8-9 years in the end. Never followed the rules. Never once. I thought, do me a favour. I know what I'm doing. I'll do it my way. I'd sit opposite people who had dyslexia, for argument's sake, and I'd watch their eyes because you can tell if someone's dyslexic because their eyes jump around. Yeah. And I'd always tell people, eat and drink before we have a lesson, because your brain needs food. It needs moisture, liquids, hydration, and food. Yes, it needs fuel. And I try different colour film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it helps them focus. I taught the alphabet. I taught them to read. And there were various levels of exams and so forth, qualifications. I'm dead proud that several of my candidates who had dyslexia were able to stand up and read from a paragraph they'd never seen beforehand out loud after I taught them from scratch.
Wow.
Yippee for me.
That's amazing.
Dead chuffed with that. Yes.
That is a really big achievement.
Honestly, the kick it gives you is better than anything. You can't buy that. It's a real. This is why it bugs me now whenever I see anyone who's having difficulty in any walk of life. You think to yourself, you can get better if you want to. You've got to find the right person to work with.
Absolutely.
Does your friend still do that, or is he retired now?
We've all stopped years ago.
Yeah.
Because it's draining. It's very, very,
I
very
imagine
hard,
just the
hard
thought
work.
of trying to teach someone to read, it's draining, mentally draining.
Well,
for me.
we know it from children.
Yeah,
You know, trying to teach your kids to read and try and teach them.
I think the difference is kids don't want to. You know what I mean? They're sort of, a bit, I want to go and play, where this adult is here because he wants to read. So that's slightly different. But yeah, I know where you're coming from. It's exhausting, mentally draining.
Just for example, our son, massive words, absolutely fine. It and is, he's like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'm like, yes, you do. It's easy. But it's easy for me because I know what they are.
Yeah, but he knows what they are. He's just not fully concentrating.
All the time.
I'm a nightmare. I'm very good. I'm very good at predicting. I know I'm dyslexic. I can read. It if you show me a word, I'll read it most of the time, unless it's a really weird word. But then get me to read in a line, and visually, I struggle with it. Visually.
I love big words.
I jump down, I come back, I read the same line, or I jump 2 lines, or my brain will try and predict if my brain's in that mood, and it's not, my brain's not always in that mood, but sometimes it is. Like, I read the BNI stuff yesterday. I read that fine.
Yeah.
But another day, I'd be all over the place.
Yeah.
It all depends on how my brain is at that time.
Different from anybody else. Trust me on that. Sometimes I can't focus on anything. I have to think to myself, I'm going to go out for a walk because I can't even see straight. I can't think straight, can't see straight. I know I need to work this out. I can't work it out. My hand will not write. My handwriting is like a drunk spider. I can't work out what I've written myself.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Is it that way? Is it that way? Oh, God knows. And
Yeah, my handwriting's terrible.
With mine though, it's more of if someone's, because I can read and I love reading, like books, and I sit there and I read, and then I say to Tilly, I read this one, and we swap books, absolutely fine. But it's when someone says to me, you have to read out loud, then my anxiety gets in. I'm like, oh my God, have I got to read out loud?
Yeah.
And then I think, okay, just read it properly. And then my mind goes, no, you're not going to do this. And then it just starts messing up from like day one sort
but
of
I
thing.
can't
And
bear
I'm like,
watching. I can't bear watching her type or text, right? Because she does it as fast as she
I'm
can.
going to say,
No, but she does it as
Untype and then
fast
go
as she
delete,
can.
God.
She goes type, delete, type, delete. She deletes 50% of what she types because she's typing
too
too fast.
fast.
If she just slowed down,
It's too fast.
if she just slowed down, she'd get there quicker.
Yes.
Drives me
that's
mad
how
watching
my
her.
brain works. It needs to get all this information out. Then I go back and go, right, okay, we can add this in. We can
No,
do
you
No, it's not. Listen, I am my father. My father unfortunately died in 2009 of cancer, even though he didn't smoke. And I find so many of his mannerisms I've adopted. And my mother said to me ages ago, she heard me on the phone talking to a client, because I took a phone call on the weekend. And she said to me, you sound like your father. And I said, I know. My father was very exacting. Over 200 people attended the funeral when he died.
Wow.
And we were stunned by this. And people never even met. We were like, who the hell are you? And he helped everybody. He helped everybody. He was one of the early networkers,
Right.
because he knew everybody in every company. He knew the cleaners, he knew the directors, he knew the delivery drivers, the receptionists. He said hello to everybody. Yes? Great. The one thing he taught me was how to speak clearly, how to project your voice, how to be heard. And clarity is so important. Communication is so important. That's why I can't talk very clearly as now.
He's all serious, then he ends up doing an audio.
We're sort of like,
Hello?
So back to your business then. So it's been going for how long? Did
20
you say
years.
20 years? And how many
20 plus
people?
years.
How many people have you
We've
got
got
working for you?
9 staff, 4 people in the office, and 5 engineers.
But you love a good interview as well, don't you?
To be honest with you, I don't interview because it drives me around a bend.
He'll be going, hello, do you want to work here?
No, I see. I can't stand rubbish. I can't stand. We have
Standard interview replies is what you're going to say.
well, electronic security is a specialist side. We're not electricians. If I send one of our engineers out to a gate system to do a diagnostic on it, an electrician would charge you in the regions of 100, 150 quid. Our call out is between 225 and 275 for an hour and a half. We would test every part of the electronic security system. It's got specialist circuits, which an electrician wouldn't have a clue how to look at, how to test. The one thing that bugs me, it has happened twice in the past year, just recently one, when an engineer who we've employed, we've trusted, we send to a job, and the engineer has the audacity to approach the client afterwards, give the client his personal phone number, and say, "Come to me directly. It's cheaper."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yes. What they don't realise is we have personal relationships with our clients, and our clients will ring us afterwards and say, "Guess what your engineer did?"
Right. Yeah.
Those people don't last very long.
No, I can imagine.
But our business is incestuous. Everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
And you hear very, very quickly as to who's gone where, blah, 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 who's done what, and so forth. But myself and my colleague, Afi, we've been working together for donkey's years. We know each other very, very well. We rip the backside out of each other all day long. We have a cracking laugh. He's 5'7". I'm 6'5". Yes, on a good day. In stature and personality, be quiet, you. So Siri's always interrupting me all the time.
What's it found? I want to know what's.
Oh, I don't know.
This is what I found. It said.
After 6'5".
I'm really interested.
Honestly,
I'm really interested.
behave. Keep it clean. Honestly, she's
I want to know what it
terrible.
said. This is what I found. It must have heard you say Siri or something.
You wouldn't believe how many times I'm in a meeting and it pipes out with an answer or words. And so, what was that? I had no idea. It's my watch talking.
This is
to me
what I
again.
found. You're lying about your hide.
I'm on a train the other day, and coming into St Pancras, and my mobile is in my jacket pocket, and my watch rings. Yeah, so I'm talking on my watch, and people are out there going, "What is he talking? He's actually talking to his watch. My watch is talking to me."
I think you're a Knight Rider.
Yeah. I go, "Hi, I'm Michael Knight."
Remember that? I used to love Knight Rider. That
That
wasn't the tune.
Oh,
That's still not it.
Brilliant. Oh, I can't sing anyway. It's terrible. What was the tune? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes. And who was the actor in that?
David Hasselhoff.
Yes. He modelled his hair on mine.
Did he? Is that what you had? You had a hair like that?
Oh boy, did I have hair like that. My hair was curly, and years ago, when it was a fashion to have straight hair, guess what I did?
Oh, you didn't. Well, straighteners weren't around.
I blow dried my hair to the end of distraction, and I was the epitome of. Remember the commercial for "Is she or isn't she? Is she or isn't she?
Yeah.
Is she or isn't she wearing silver green hairspray?"
Not a clue. Not a clue.
You remember that?
Sorry, I drifted you off of being on a train and
Sorry. You digress yet again.
by saying Michael Knight or Knight Rider.
Yes.
Go on.
Yes. So, what was I saying before?
I don't know.
I
Two
forgot.
people are watching you talking to your
Oh, no.
phone.
Yeah, and so this thing, it's an Apple phone. It is always interrupting me because if I say, let's try it now. Siri, call Simon Burridge.
Oh no. What do you mean that prick?
Simon Burridge, Cherrywood, mobile.
Calling that arsehole Simon Burridge.
My phone is now calling Simon Burridge literally as we
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's calling me. Yeah, I think people have witnessed Siri before.
No, well,
Oh, and I usually go, "Oh, it's Gary. I won't answer that."
it's got a message come up. Go. Do you want to answer this prick's phone call?
Oh, nice, nice. This
no.
this viewers is why I have a subscription with the Samaritans. Could you press the red button for me?
Yeah, he's still calling. So can you? Yeah,
Yeah, just press the red button.
he doesn't know how to get the watch to stop it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sorry.
It should come up on here like that, but it doesn't always. Yeah, so it's not as reliable as it claims to be. Apple,
Right.
take note.
Have we covered everything yet? 'Cause I'm exhausted.
So,
I've only been here 5 minutes.
No, you'll be surprised. You've probably been here an hour. Let's have a quick look. But it's going to take me half an hour. You've been here an hour and 20.
An hour and
Well,
Well,
no,
I
you're
got
a little
here
bit
late.
late. A little bit late.
Yes.
So we've done an hour.
so we've got another hour to go. Are you looking forward to it, viewers?
Anything else you want to cover, Gal, about your businesses?
Oh wow. Okay.
Let's talk about the solar panels.
I was
I
going
like
to
the
say,
idea of solar
solar's the
panels.
future, mate. It really
So-
is the future.
do you think they would get them on cars
Yes.
eventually?
The problem is they're very hot on roofs, aren't they? They're very hot to touch, solar panels, especially in the summer.
Yes, they are. Not as hot as you may think, but they are glass. The one thing that I'd like you all to think about in all seriousness,
Yeah.
Serious? Gary?
we are looking to launch a chain of EV chargers, national.
Right. Okay.
We have funding, and from I think it's either going to be the 1st of June or 1st of July, we're going to be installing EV chargers at blocks of flats at no cost to the residents. It's fully funded, and basically it'll operate as a pay-as-you-go service. You put your credit card into the machine and you charge your car up. The EVs will be either 3.5, 4 kilowatt, 7.5, 22 kilowatt, or 50 kilowatt. 50,
Right, okay.
50 kilowatts are currently only used by Tesla. They do not damage the car's battery. How much do you reckon the car's battery will cost? A
Oh, a
replacement?
lot of money.
Yes.
Most of the car.
Yes, it's between 60 and £80,000,
Wow.
depending on the value of the car. It's probably between half and 2/3.
And what's the life on those?
It should be. It's 16,000 cycles.
Charging up
15
16
Oh,
years.
right.
15
Fif-
years.
That's a lot of money for 15 years. It is in a way, isn't it?
Yes.
But the weird thing is, Kia have just brought out their big car. I forget what it's called, but it's their big monster. It's a 6-seater. It's got 100 kilowatt battery in it. The next car down only has a 75 kilowatt battery in it. Now, you'd expect for the extra kilowatts, you're going to get a lot of mileage. How many miles do you think you're going to get from the extra kilowatts?
Probably not much based on the weight of it. If it's a big car,
20 miles.
Yeah,
Oh my god, 20 miles.
yeah, but it's a bigger car.
More weight.
Yeah, but
It weighs almost 2 tons.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh my god.
With regard to solar panels, the solar panels are 1 metre by 1.7 metres. Batteries are 3.5 kilowatts, 6.5 kilowatts, 9 kilowatts, and up to 19 kilowatts. You can get multiples, you can build up and so forth. It's always advisable to install batteries with solar panels every time without shadow of a doubt. In wintertime, yes, solar panels do work. There's less light, and solar panels work when they're facing east, south, or west, not north.
Right.
The number of houses I see have north panels. I think
Really? I've never noticed a
it's
north facing one.
ridiculous. No, they try and lever them up.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Ah, right.
to face the sun.
And what's the angle?
Between 33 and 35 degrees. Yeah. The beauty of having a battery system with your solar panels is the batteries can be programmed to download cheap energy at 1/3 of the daily rate at night time. It's called off-peak downloading.
Ah, right. So they're
okay.
taking it from the grid and charging themselves up and then using it. That's a good idea.
Just like a mobile
Didn't
phone.
think about it being that way. I just thought about it storing the solar panels usage.
We have clients whose houses, you know what a dormer is? It's an extension on the
Yeah.
roof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. They have no room on the roof at all to put panels in. We've installed 20 and 30 kilowatt batteries, literally a bank of batteries, and every night they download and fill up the batteries. And their electricity bills plummet from, say, £400 a month down to £35, £40 a month.
Really? Just by having
Wow.
the batteries and no solar panels?
Because every night, they don't use energy during the day at all from the grid.
That's amazing.
They just fill it up at night time at 1/3 of the cost.
Yeah.
So, of course, bill's going to go whoosh.
See, I didn't realise that. In a way, I just thought the rate was the same. Does it depend who you're with?
Most of the providers now, your daily rate normally is going to be between, shall we say, 32 and 38p
Right.
per kilowatt hour. Nighttime rate is between, say, 7p and 9.5p.
That's amazing. That
Yeah.
is I know it's only we're talking
massive.
pence, but if
You're-
you're, doing
you're
that on
talking
a
pence
daily
times a lot.
rate, yeah.
Listen,
Wow.
the number of people who have dubiously signed up and said, okay, we'll install it and so forth, we've got a bit of spare cash, we'll install it. Afterwards, they say, wow, bills come through, it's 48 quid. It used to be 400 quid.
Yeah.
And the other thing is power cuts. Sorts that problem out.
Well, I suppose.
It doesn't.
Ah.
I was believing
Can
you.
it not
then.
feed from there?
It does. It does. You have to have a special circuit installed, so you can actually go up to the power and switch it. It's like a big red twisty
Yeah.
button. It's a separate circuit. It doesn't power the whole house. If anyone out there's been told it does not.
So where would the energy
Why doesn't
go
it power?
then?
I need to ask. I've got questions, many questions.
Right.
So
Ask away.
I understand that it needs to have a separate switch to know when there's a power cut or not. My first question is, when the power comes back on, does it affect it being switched over, or does it just stay on the battery until you switch it back? I imagine.
Power comes on. Power comes on. You have to switch the circuit.
Switch it
off.
back.
So you
up,
have to
right.
physically go and
Okay.
do that. Right,
So if
okay.
then we're then charging the power up at night at a low cost, and then we're providing power to your house, your whole house in the day, How comes it's limited when there's a power cut?
Sorry.
You said, Your Honour, that you said that if there was a power cut, you'd use this switch, you'll switch over, but it wouldn't power the whole house. Why is that? When it's powering the whole house in normal use.
Right. Your solar power comes in from the panels. It goes through the inverter and into your mains supply.
Yes.
Your main supply has 2 loops.
Yes.
Loop at the bottom
and loop at the top.
Ground fault.
Ring, and ring. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
2 rings. Okay. Because if you were to power the whole house, you would need grid to supply the whole house. Your batteries can only store a certain amount of energy. If they were connected up to the whole house, yes, from those single batteries, yes, you need to have
loads.
Its own. You see the cables outside in the street?
Yeah.
Right, fine. You see the size of the cables?
High voltage cable.
High voltage cable. You wouldn't have that in the house.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, I understand what you mean. So, what you're saying is you're charging these batteries up, but in the day when you're using the power, you're only powering 1 ring, probably downstairs.
If there's a power cut. If there's normal day, then you can use anything in the house you want to. I've got clients that've got
Sorry, I've got another question.
Okay.
So I'm touching you up at the same time.
Hello.
So you're still drawing electricity in the day.
No.
From the batteries.
If you have, for argument's sake, dishwasher, iron, toaster, oven, everything on simultaneously that's drawing 3.5 kilowatts, 7 kilowatt, 9 kilowatt, blah, 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 and it's mounting up. Your batteries, you have 3.5 kilowatt, 6.5 kilowatt, 9.5 kilowatts. If the draw is more than the batteries have in their store, you will then draw.
Blimey.
It took a long time, didn't it? A long time.
And it's the only serious bit we've got to. Right, so
they're going to be serious.
Go on, the batteries again. So if they draw, but that's where I'm coming from. So if they do draw that, in normal circumstances, no power cut, you're going to drain that battery, but you're not going to drain that battery because then you're going to have the day rate going into the battery when you were saving money on the low night rate. That's where I'm coming from.
Right. We normally, because it's normally my job, to educate people that if you use your oven first, your dishwasher next, your washing machine next, and keep the drain down under a certain level, you will not need to take from the grid because it will literally take from the battery only.
And this is sorry, I'm back again. But this is my point about a power cut. I don't go, there's a power cut, quick, stick everything on. You would have thought that battery would have.
But you see again, because the house has a larger draw than 6.5 kilowatts, it can't feed the whole house.
Okay.
Yes. An LED light draws less than a halogen light.
Yes, of course.
An oven by itself draws less than 6.5 kilowatts. An iron draws less than 6.5 kilowatts. A washing machine by itself is less. If you had them on all simultaneously, the battery itself, if you have 3 or 4 batteries combined, yes, no problem at all. Have it all at the same time. But that's when you get expensive, when you have several of them. If you've got 1 or 2, you have to pace yourself. As long as you pace yourself, you'll use the power that's been stored in the battery. You won't need to take from the grid.
So in a power cut, if you've got a power cut, you've then flipped the switch, and you said you get limited power.
You normally get your lights alone, or your oven and a couple of lights.
Right. Okay. I was going to say, where does it go to?
Yes.
Where is the main
And even when there's
source
not a power cut, in a way, that's all you've got in that battery capacity. So you charge it up overnight, but that's all you've got. It's the same amount as usual.
But
then the grid starts feeding it in the day. The grid is feeding the battery in the day.
The great thing is that the larger battery you have, the more energy you can save.
Of course, yes. Storage, yes.
And great thing is, because batteries can both send and receive, there's 2 different circuits in them, you can be drawing power as well as storing power.
Exactly,
Yes. And we've got clients basically that don't take it from the grid at all.
Yeah, depending on the size of their battery
Yeah.
and how many they got.
Yeah.
So do you have solar panels then?
No.
No.
We have batteries.
Oh, you have batteries. How many batteries do you have?
3.
3 batteries. How much were those batteries? Can I ask?
You can.
Go on in.
He's not
How
going
much
to
were
do
those
it.
batteries?
No, we have the equivalent of 3 batteries, and it's the equivalent of 19 kilowatts.
19 kilowatts. So
Okay.
will you get through a day with 19 kilowatts witithout feeding your day rate of energy?
We've figured out a way basically to.
We've got a tent in the garden.
No, we just figured out a way to run everything.
Simultaneously.
We do
Not simultaneous.
We pace things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
we
meant.
pace
Sorry.
things. Yes.
All
Would you
together,
like
yeah.
help with your speech this morning? I can teach you.
She's really good at getting her words wrong. This is one of her sayings.
Come and read this book again.
No.
Look at that's one of her sayings. Have you read that?
Do as I
No.
do. Don't do as I do. Do as I don't do. Okay.
So it's basically saying, don't copy me and don't copy me.
Okay.
That is
So
the
don't copy me.
that is the do what I say, not what I do line. But that's her version of it.
Is your name Raquel?
Oh dear.
Rachel Burridge.
Right. What was we talking about? We're
Solar panels.
talking about batteries still.
Solar
Is
panel
there an
batteries.
indication on the battery so you know how much you've used?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Batteries are on a serious note. They're fantastic. They're indicators on the outside as to how full they are and how empty they are. You have an app on your phone where you can judge how much energy is being used, how much you've paid, how much your bill will be, what you use at night time, what you use during the day, your usage, each machine in your house. I can't think of what the white goods are called, but
Washing machine.
but there's a name for them. The app will tell you basically what your machines use, what your dishwashers use, etc., etc.
yeah.
At any given time of the day, and you can gauge your usage to use it when you want to use it. And many clients now buy a battery. They have it installed first of all, and then 6 months to a year later, they buy another battery and add to the battery, and then add it again. It's called future proofing. You have, for argument's sake,
So the old ones will get older, but you've still got backup.
not so much that they realise they need more energy,
Yeah.
and
okay.
the solar panels can only produce
Yeah.
so much. And as they can afford to, they add another battery.
In parallel.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of houses who've got 4 or 5, 6 batteries.
Yeah. All in parallel, I
Yes.
imagine. Yeah.
And
So then do they like recycle the old ones then? Do you sort of like take when they get old
You
enough?
can just remove it
Just
and then
take it out
replace
and
it.
replace
You
it,
don't
yeah.
even have to replace it, I imagine, do you? Just remove it.
it's if anyone says to you it's difficult to install a battery, it's rubbish. It's 2 plugs. Plug in, plug out. Done, finished.
That's like
It
your
takes 10
pacemaker.
minutes.
I imagine they're quite expensive, though, aren't they?
They're not cheap. They cost normally, say, between £2,000 and £3,000 for a 2.4 kilowatt battery. A 6.5 is around 3.5, 4 grand installed. A 19 kilowatt battery is going to set you back in the regions of about between £6,000 and £7,000. They are well worth every penny.
And the payback's 7 years.
Between 5 and 7 years, depending on usage.
Sorry, is it they just connect to one ring, like we was talking about, or do they connect to both?
We do have some clients that do have a power cut circuit installed.
On both, or just for both?
No,
for both.
Honest to God, I think that's only ever been used twice
Right. Okay.
because the power system in the UK is so reliable.
Oh yeah, I don't even mean that.
It's never
Like,
been
no,
used.
I don't even mean that. But the battery is connected to the power of the whole house.
Oh, yes.
In normal
Oh
circumstances.
God, listen,
yeah.
we
But what you're on about is when you use that switch, it's only connected to one.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
But the clients that have every client has batteries. We don't have any clients that just have solar by,
of
by-
course.
by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Thank God, we never ever get complaints of it. The system doesn't work. Yes, systems have faults. It's all about how quickly you resolve the faults.
Right.
We get, thank the Lord, loads and loads of people who refer us to friends, family, neighbours, and so forth.
Yeah.
Because you ask someone to come over for a coffee or for a meal, it's a talking point. Look what we've got. We've got solar, we've got batteries. How the batteries work. Is it true they reduce their bills? And everyone's so proud to say, look at our new bill. It's only 40 quid.
Yeah.
Last month it was 350 quid.
Yeah.
Wow. God.
Right. So you've got this couple that's come to you. They're interested in having solar panels put on with a battery. They haven't got any extra money. Is there any payment plans that will cover the cost of this for the time?
You can take out finance for solar energy, not via the government. There are a couple of companies out there that can organise finance for you. If your religion states that you can't take out finance with interest, you can take out interest-free finance via myself. I can organise it for you.
Your religion?
Muslims can't pay interest.
Really?
Yeah, they can't do any kind of finance that pays interest.
Never.
So it's interest-free finance.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
Yep. I have a lot of Muslim clients that I work with regularly, and they're not allowed to pay interest on finance, so it's interest-free credit.
So can anyone have that interest-free
Yes.
credit?
I can organise that, no issue at all. It's more expensive. It is. There's no question. It's more expensive. But yeah, and if someone says, for argument's sake, they want to have a big system, can they organise it over 15 years? Yes, you can. It's organised at an interest rate, but not everyone's got, shall we say, between £9,000 and £12,000 hanging about. So you can have a system installed, and I've got people who are paying 250 quid a month or 150 quid a month for the next 10 years, or the next 5 years or 15 years, whatever it is.
And that will still be cheaper than their normal.
Oh my God!
That's what I'm trying to say. So in a way, what they're saving on their electricity bill a month, they're paying off anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's probably even
The
cheaper.
beauty is now. This is where Clever Dick here comes in. Well, no. You see, I'm not your Mr. Average. I will say to a client before we even discuss any kind of what they will do, what it will do for you. Average installation is going to cost you between £9,000 and say £12,000-14,000. How do you intend to pay for this? Let's get down to brass tacks before we even talk about anything at all.
yeah,
Because otherwise, if you can't afford it, there's no point talking about it. Yes,
Absolutely.
great believer in that for gates, for any kind of installation. And they go, I said, listen, if you haven't got the money in your account, because not everyone has, I can organise finance for you. We could bring the payments down to, say, £170 a month. And they go, okay, wow, yes, we can do that. We're just finishing paying for one of the cars.
yeah.
We can put that on and have it. I can have it installed week after next. Your payments will be about 170, 180, spread over 15 years. The beauty being, if you're due to inherit in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, you can pay it off early, and you only pay interest on the amount that's outstanding for 1 month.
Right, I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not 10 years worth of interest.
No.
It's 1 month's interest. That's it.
Yeah.
How wonderful is
Can
that?
you pay big lumps off every now and
Yes.
then?
And the number of people who go, yeah, we'll have that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Because we know fully well that once it's paid off, it's free energy.
Yeah.
Sun, it's free energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
What could be better for you?
Yeah.
So where
Yeah.
do you think the solar market is going then in the future? Where do you see it
That's a
going?
good question, Rachel.
Sorry.
It's just going to explode.
Not literally, I hope.
No,
What's dodgy battery?
there have been in the past, trust me. There have been.
For you guys, you had to deal with some.
No.
Right,
We only, there are several batteries in the market. There's Give Energy, there's GrowWatt, there's Pylon-Tech, there's Fox. We will only install Fox and GrowWatt. Give Energy are coming up very, very, very quickly. Last year they were rubbish. This year they're very, very good. They're improving. The big difference is that the batteries last year, a lot of them, you had to contact the engineers actually with the manufacturers to calibrate the battery from the house and from the suppliers and get them to connect to work properly.
Right.
The software is downloaded. Yes.
Right, okay.
Now you can basically dial in, as long as you're an authorized installer, you dial in on your computer, you get a code number to basically, once you're actually authorised, code number to dial into the main computer, and you can calibrate the battery on your laptop,
Yeah.
and it does it all by itself.
Wow.
And we can do it within a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Installations normally take between 1 and 2 days. We're starting one on the 4th of July that's going to take 3 days because it's 25 panels and 3 batteries.
Wow.
It's a monster. It's a ground mount. We've got to do foundations, the whole works. But the beauty being with the batteries, they're improving all the time. If you use a cheap battery, please don't go cheap. You will regret it. We only install tried and tested equipment. We don't get problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. We do not get problems. The batteries have warranties of 15 years. The panels have warranties of 12 years. Yes, if there is a problem with a battery or with a panel, we'll just replace it. Simple as that. There's no question. We'll come and inspect it. We'll test it out. We'll remove it, put in a new one. The systems are designed to work seamlessly. Some people have shading issues on their houses. They've got a tree leaning over. Please, people out there, beware. Your system will not work if it's shaded. Yes? You'll have to have a bit of techie equipment on there. I'm not going to go into all the techie stuff now because it's techie. But you will need to have a bit of equipment attached to the back of the panel to make it works like independent suspension on the car. If your panels are installed, it's called in series or in string. It's one string basically. It means one cable's going around all of them, connecting them up. If you have two planes, 2 pictures in the house, you've got 2 strings, one that side, one that side. Or if your house is south facing, one string covering the whole of the south facing. If you have an area that's shaded, you will have a bit of equipment called a Tygo. Tygo is a manufacturer, and the Tygo basically will make each panel work independently.
Right.
If it had a voice, it would say, "I'm shaded at the moment, but you guys can carry on working.
Right.
I'm shaded. I'll be fine once the sun goes over and that tree's out the way. But until then, you guys carry on. I can't work at the
Shut
moment."
down.
Yeah. It's very, very, very clever. My guys who are the installers, chief installer, he's 24 years old.
Wow.
And he's been brought up on solar. He's been doing solar since he was 16. There's nothing he doesn't know about it. I mean, he's phenomenal. We get on like a house on fire. He takes the mickey out of me and vice versa. Brilliant fun. His father runs the admin section. His father used to be in finance. He's a regulation man to the adenoids, to the hind teeth. Everything. You've heard of ISO 9001? Right, fine. MCS is the solar equivalent. It would normally take a company between 4 and 6 months to gain MCS. It took Chris 6 weeks.
Wow.
Him and regulation, he has a phenomenal brain. Phenomenal brain. He achieved it in 6 weeks. Every single thing we do is regulation. We're asked time and again, can you just do this? Can you just do that? Sorry, sir, we can't. Can you? I bought the kit. Can you install it for me? Sorry, sir, we can't. Everything is done absolutely to the book, properly. It carries warranties, guarantees, etc. And I'm very proud of that. I really am. And it's phenomenal.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Well, that's a perfect way to end it. So
I knew you were going to do that.
Do you want to mention both
We're now
companies?
finished now. Goodbye, viewers.
Do you want to mention both companies and the details, how to contact you?
Okay.
Because that's going to take another half hour, don't you? Here we go.
The electronics company or electronic security company is BA Security. My mobile number is 07399 648 423. BA Security, I'll repeat that, 07399 648 423. My email address is garyp@basecurity.co.uk. The solar company...
Do they have a website, BA Security?
basecurity.co.uk.
Right, okay.
Thank you. And the solar company is Eco Energy Install. Best number for that is 0734 0066 939. I'll repeat that. 0734 0066 939. If you ring the office, it'll be engaged. Because we are, thank God, very, very busy. So I tell everyone to ring my mobile, get through much quicker. We've taken on 3 staff recently, and the phone is still engaged. Thank God, we get a lot of referrals, a lot of calls. But yes, I look forward to hearing from all of you. Please give me a ring. Thank you.
And he is just as crazy in person as he is on this podcast.
That's all, folks.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, Gal. Nice to see you, mate. Always a pleasure and a chore.
Some errands, please.
And he keeps blowing my eardrum out every time he does that. So I'm taking these off. So we'll see you next time. Rachel's gone. She's had enough. She's had enough. All right. See you again. Bye. This podcast has been brought to you by Snugdubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk. This podcast was brought to you today by Austin's Eatery on Station Road, Strood.
Try the Viking Challenge.